So we're the group of friends on a footbridge. We'd often sort of hang around this bridge that went over the railway line in Woking. My friend was mucking around on the railway line, and I started chasing him down the railway line, just mucking around, and these demons, what I believe to be demons that were in me, physically took hold of my body and lay me down on this train track.
So you couldn't control that? You just felt like something was forcing you down onto the railway tracks?
And what was different on this occasion is I knew what was happening. In my mind, I could see everything. It was like I was...
It was fully aware of what was happening, yeah.
Fully aware of what was happening, but physically couldn't control my body. So I'm now lying on this railway line. I often talk about the two miracles that took place because people will know that I should have been electrocuted really straight away. Or as the train's coming, you would have been electrocuted. I wasn't. But there was a train coming towards me on that line, and I thought I was going to die.
What were your friends doing?
Screaming, "Get up! What are you doing?" So they were looking over the footbridge, looking down, and saying, "Well, George, get up, get up!" I'm physically trapped, and
they thought you were just trying to scare them, trying to kind of prank
them.
Yeah,
I don't think they knew what was going on. I guess they'd seen stuff that had happened to me, and was this something to do with it? I don't know. Were they thinking that? But they were certainly terrified. As was I, and I remember thinking, well, I'm going to die. This is it, I'm going to die. And I could imagine their sort of newspaper stories, they look like committed suicide, or this guy's a bit gone off his head, and here he is dying on the railway line. But before the train hit me, it was as though someone literally just grabbed a hold of the back of me and pulled me up off this railway line. I then had the train going past the front of my face, and sort of in a bit of a daze. And the reason I always mention those friends on the bridge is because they can testify. To this day, there was nobody stood behind me. There was no human being. There was nobody else there.
Do you feel like that was God?
I do, yeah. How that's happened, whether it was an angel, how it's happened, I don't know. But I think that's God literally pulling me off that train track. And I've realised latterly it's such a good picture of the gospel now, actually, and what God wants to do for us. It's like, I know not everyone's going to be in a place of captivity with demons and stuff, but we can be trapped by so many different things, and it's such a picture of what God wants to do to set us free from those things. And for me, it was life and death. And I remember thinking afterwards, if I died, I'd been hearing stuff from the church, if you don't trust Jesus and got your faith in him, you're going to be lost forever. And I thought, well, if I died, would I be going to hell? Is that where I would have ended up? And I was terrified, really. And this had become less of a game and more, this is serious now. So I ran to my Christian friend's house, that man that had reached out to me, and told him what had happened. And he just said, you've got to ask God for help. This has got to come from you now. We've been praying for you, but this is a decision you need to make, really. And for the first time, I prayed in his living room, and I just begged Jesus, will you help me? I'm sorry for what I've done. I knew what I'd done was wrong. I knew some other stuff that I'd done was wrong. I wanted to turn from that and turn to him. And I just begged him to help. And it left me. Whatever it was, whatever was going on with me, it left me that day. And the moment I entered that house to the moment I left, it was like I was a different person. The guys actually sent me, the man that I prayed with that night, he sent me a letter I wrote like a couple of weeks later. Recently he sent that to me, and it's amazing to read it, actually, just telling him how much I loved him and thankful for what he'd done and how different I felt.
Yeah.